Hello everyone, this is Mary Morning, and this is my video on the 16 Witchy Questions Tag. This video tag was originally done by Ravenflower, so there's 16 questions to sort of get to know everybody. So I will just go ahead and get started. Question number 1, do you have a witchy name and how did you come by it? Well, I go by Mary Morning. And the name definitely has some meaning to me because when I was doing some family history, I found, I think it was a great-great-grandmother that had the first name Morning and spelled M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G. So I was immediately drawn to her and had to use that name online from then on. So I actually even had my sewing business under Morning Glory Designs for a while, and that's where it came from. Let's see. Question number 2, where are you located and what brought you to that area, or were you born there? Well, I live in Ontario, Canada, just outside of Toronto, about 45 minutes away from Toronto. I really enjoy it here in Ontario. Beautiful trees, trails, mountain biking, lakes. There's so much to do here in Ontario, but I'm actually from the West Coast, from the Seattle area, about 45 minutes south of Seattle, and kind of grew up right on the West Coast, Puget Sound area, and it was a really beautiful place to grow up, being able to walk down to the beaches, the rocky beaches. We had 2 beaches, so we had a rocky beach and a sandy beach, and loved to be in that area. One day I'll go back and visit again. Let's see, question number 3. Do you wear a special amulet or jewelry for spell work? Well, right now I'm wearing an ankh. But normally I have on a pentagram that has a moon on it as well. I don't specifically change jewelry for spell work. I'm a little less formal that way. I don't change jewelry. I will sometimes put on a ceremonial robe, but not all the time. And what is your favorite space or place? Well, that would be that rocky beach back in Washington, but since I'm so far away from it, I would say here in Ontario would be the woods. I love to go into the woods. There's beautiful trails here. I mountain bike a lot. Love to be out in nature. Yeah, the woods are definitely my favorite place to be, other than a beach. But not a hot beach. I like a cold beach. Question number 5. What is your favorite stone or crystal for magical workings? Well, I do often use black tourmaline for protection. I like to use amethyst for healing. Moonstone for psychic ability. Selenite for cleansing. If I had to pick a favorite, I guess it would be amethyst, since that's my birthstone as well. I wear a lot of amethyst. Question number 6. How long have you been practicing and how did you come to this path? Well, I started out like most people, sort of reading every book I could get my hands on. Basically started in high school, reading and reading and reading. I still do. I feel like you are never done learning and furthering your path. I didn't start practicing on a regular basis until about 2010. That's when I started. Let's see. Question number 7. Do you have a deity, god, or goddess, and how did you connect with them? Well, they often come to me in meditation or visions during meditation. So the very first deity that came to me in about 2010 was Cernus, so the horn god. He came in this vision, and it was clear as day, and he had the face of a deer, the antlers, and he basically told me that his time was coming. So that was pretty important, and I didn't understand the significance when it first happened until I started talking to other people that I knew in the pagan faith, and they were a little shocked that that's who sort of appeared to me first. But I never do anything sort of, half measure. So of course, Cernus was the first one to show up. But I've worked with Bridget would be the next one, the goddess of home and hearth. Really have a connection to that. The next one would be, let's see, I did some work with Hecate. So I think the next one after that would be Isis. Recently, I've sort of been connecting with the Egyptian goddess more often, and Diana as well. She's sort of appeared in vision. So all of these goddesses or gods have sort of appeared to me in different visions. But it depends on what's going on in my life. They'll appear, and it's like they're bringing a message. Also, the Lady of the Lake from Avalon as well, which I believe ties into Bridget as well. So she's appeared in quite a few visions, handing me a sword and telling me about sovereignty and that sort of thing. So I've seen her the most within the past year. And in fact, she's so vivid I can really describe what she's wearing, what she looks like, everything. And usually has a message to me about freedom, sovereignty. The sword she handed me, she called it the Sword of Truth. So that one's kind of, dear to my heart. Let's see. Question number 8. What is your favorite incense or smudge? Well, I use white sage often to smudge. I have some other incenses, but I have a strange thing in that I don't have a sense of smell. I was born without a sense of smell, so I can't tell you too much about different incenses. I wouldn't have a clue, other than I can tell what they do to the energy in the room. They cleanse, I can feel the cleansing of the sage, and different incenses will bring on a different feeling, but I couldn't tell you the difference in the smells. So, question number 9. Have you ever had a clear space? Have you ever had to clear a space of a negative entity? Yes. So, used to get shadow people in the house quite often. And that was when my son was little, and I would see them in the hallways. My son was seeing them. So I went through and I smudged. I used my singing bowl and that sort of thing, and I cleared the house, and I've done a protection on the house now. It's not often that I see them anymore, but I do still see them sometimes. So, number 10. Question number 10. What is your favorite witchy show or movie? Well, that's easy. Harry Potter. So I have a very soft spot for Harry Potter. My son was really little when the Harry Potters were coming out, and I think he was in grade SK, senior kindergarten, where I actually did a Harry Potter theme party for him, and he still brings that up. That was one of his best birthday parties. We went to go see Harry Potter, the second one, and he loved it. So I read all the books, I watched all the movies as they came out. I do a marathon of Harry Potter every year around Halloween time, my absolute favorite. And secondly, practical magic. That was one of the first movies where I was kind of like, oh yeah, that's what I do. That's who I am. I think we all want to go live in that house by the sea. Question number 11. What do you do to help raise energy before spell work? Well, I like to clear the space. I like to cleanse. I will do a protective circle when I do spell work. I do the usual things. Light a candle, have what I want to say, put my intention into it, send it out into the universe. I often do spell work on full moon or new moon. Depends on what I'm working on. And do you see yourself helping others magically? Yes, definitely. That happens now in my everyday life quite often. I'll help people just by sending them information, asking them questions, maybe sending them in the right direction for what they're working on. And I think that's why I'm coming to YouTube, is that I sort of want to be involved with helping other people find their path. Question number 13, what is your preferred form of divination? Well, I use tarot on a regular basis, so I guess tarot will be my main method of divination. But I also use pendulum, sometimes runes, but I'm not all that great at runes. Let's see, oracle cards all the time. Bibliomancy, where you open up a book and just read what page it's on or read the sentence out of a book. I like doing that. And let's see, number 14, what element do you work with the most? Fire. I just like the energy from fire. I'm an air sign, so I'm constantly in the air mode, but it's nice to bring in fire to get me whenever I need energy, and I want to be creative and get the juices kind of flowing on that sort of thing. I'll bring in fire. Number 15, if you threw a party, which of the YouTube witches would you invite? Well, let's see. There's so many. I love Arwen because she's so positive. I've been watching her for a really long time. And her friend, Ember Honey Raven, I really enjoy her because she just seems like a lot of fun. And let's see, Laura Daligan. She's probably one of the first witches that I came across on YouTube that I really watched on a regular basis. I just find that both Arwen and Laura Daligan are very genuine, and I like that about them, and very positive, both of them. And let's see, I know I'm forgetting somebody in there. Somebody important, I'm sure, but I can't remember. Let's see. And of course, the lady that did the Witchy Tag as well, Ravenflower. I've been enjoying her videos lately. I haven't followed her for as long as the other ladies, but I'm really enjoying those videos. And the last question. What are your witchy goals for the new year? For witchy goals, I think continuing to read some books. I have like a stack of books that I that I need to get through, that I want to learn more. So I always feel like I'm still learning. I do a lot of reading. You can probably tell with the huge bookshelves behind me. Let's see, I want to continue journaling. I think that's really important. And doing a daily tarot and trying to journal it, which really seems to help and get me focused on what it is I need to work on. I have a lot of goals. Like spiritually, I'm still working on, I guess, being my authentic self. And when it's a deep subject, but when you grow up being sort of different than everybody else, it's difficult to be completely open. I learned to hide a lot growing up because I didn't want to be teased and I didn't want people to think that I was different. So I would hide a lot of things. And so that seems to be something I'm working on, is being completely authentic, speaking my truth, being who I am. Now that's easy for me to do in fashion or looks. That's not a big deal to me. Like I've been dressing a little bit alternative, gothic, whatever for my whole life. That's not a big deal. But to speak authentically about things can be a challenge for me, because I find it difficult to be completely open. So, and maybe that's because I'm an Aquarius. We're famous for being sort of aloof. So I like to think in philosophical terms, but I don't talk about my personal struggles or battles very easily, which I'm going through this class right now about spiritual alchemy called The Great Work. And it's helped me quite a bit sort of figure out who I am, where I'm going, what's the end goal, where are you getting in enlightenment and that sort of thing. So to continue on that path is where I'm going, and I think getting on YouTube is a huge part of it. Because it was easy for me to write about topics that were not of a personal nature. So writing about movies, writing about fashion, writing about anything like that was no big deal. But to write about my own spiritual journey and write about emotions or psychic abilities and what sort of happened in that to me over my lifetime is something that I'm trying to work on this year. So you might see quite a few videos coming out about what it's like to grow up with, being an empath and that sort of thing. So thank you to Ravenflower for these questions. That was a lot of fun. And if you're interested in watching more videos, just like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.